Bro. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Offsides Podcast. We are like 2 days away, right? Today's Tuesday, and then it's Thursday. Look at that. And I'm supposed to be on a flight tomorrow morning to DRP. How you doing, bro?
Good, man. We made it.
I know. We made it. How you feeling, bro?
Hey,
Good.
feeling good, man. Feeling good. Today I wear a new pair of shoes to school, very comfortable, so I feel very good.
That's good. What, like brown shoes or black shoes for your khakis?
No, I wear slacks with a little button down. They're called APL, Athletic Propulsion Lab. They're super comfortable.
I'm about to try them out. But to look at, not that I walk very much places, but when I get this office, I'm gonna need it. But look, man, yeah, we 2 days away. Just a quick headliners. Trent Williams got paid. He got an extension. I got it here. I took a screenshot of it. They gave him a 3-year, $82.66 million deal that includes $48 million at signing and then a $25.69 million signing bonus. He just got paid, bro. Like, this dude is, they got to protect Brock Purdy, right? You know what I'm saying? And he's the best left tackle in the business. So I'm going to start with Pete. Pete, what's your take on it?
I will say goodbye to Debo next year. Somebody's got to go.
Yeah.
They can't pay all those dudes. And we speak about, the quarterbacks getting paid so much money. It's the most important position on the field. The second most important is the left tackle because that's their blindside protector. Mm-hmm. So if you're gonna, and then next year Brock Purdy's gonna get paid. He's going to. They could franchise him. You know what I'm saying? They could still. I think that's the smartest way to go, being that he was, Mr. Irrelevant. They could go that route. And he's getting guaranteed money. It's only 1 year, but to me that would be the safest thing to do, especially with Brock Purdy. If you want to keep everybody, if you can't keep everybody, and let's say they win it, they may just say, you know what, good piece to Debo, but Trent Williams, he's he may be the first, second best player, best left tackle in the game. So you gotta pay him when you can, and maybe that's why he held out, because like this is the time to do it because they haven't paid this dude yet. So this may be the time to do it. And he's just as important as Purdy. So and blocking from McCaffrey too.
Okay, true. That's you brought Debo. I did something real quick. 49ers create $16.4 million in cap space with restructure of Debo Samuel's deal. This was September 3rd, at 6:40 p.m. It says it's been recent days busy. They agreed to a 4-year, $120 million deal with Brandon Ayuk. We worked left tackle Trent Williams deal, giving him $82.66 million over the next 3 years. And then Phil Yates of ESPN reports the 49ers have also restructured the contract with Debo Samuel, creating $16.4 million in cap space. Samuel was scheduled to make $20.9 million in base salary with a $28.633 million cap hit. Samuel's contract runs through 2025, with the star receiver having signed a 3-year extension in 22 with $41 million in guarantees. So you're right. You know what? Next year, but they were trying to trade him. They were looking at trading him before. Mm-hmm. They were. It just they weren't getting the bite, so they signed him. June, what you take on this?
I think when we spoke about this before, I think this signing should have been done before the Ayuk, in my opinion. So we protecting our quarterback. You got Trent Williams out there. You pay this man what he's worth because he's proven, right? Proven being the key word. And you got Ayuk out there setting the example for the younger personnel in your team, being somewhat of a cancer. I hate to use that word, but being somewhat of a cancer in that locker room and saying, hey, you know what? In your third or fourth year, when you think you deserve a little bit more, come sit out. And I hate to turn this topic about Ayuk, but it pisses me off. It burns my biscuits, like Frank would say. I would have signed him before Ayuk all day, because you still got all them crazy weapons over there. So it ain't like you're missing anything, and you would have had the opportunity to re-sign one of those big names next year, like the Debos or whatever the case is, if that was the case. So I think this deal should have been done a long time ago, and they should have moved on from old buddy.
I tell you right now, Brock gets to another NFC championship, he's gonna get 60 million a year. Now, I can see the franchise tag. I can. I think if they came to him very like, hey, listen, bro, look, well, you're the quarterback of the future. We're willing to give you the franchise tag, which is going to be probably 30 to 40 million guaranteed dollars for the next 1 year. With that, we're going to sign you to a long-term deal by the end of the season. You see what I'm saying? Before next season. But I need to keep this team together. So if I can pay Samuel some extra money, giving you at least, because you got to think sometimes the guaranteed money. Look at what's our boy? Kirk Cousins. Cousins did that. Two franchise tags back to back, gave him a lot more guaranteed money than he probably was going to get if he would have signed earlier. Then he leaves there and goes to Minnesota, gets paid there, leaves Minnesota and goes to the Falcons and gets paid. So I think if you come to Purdy and he doesn't look like a guy, I mean, I could be wrong, that's going to be like, nah, F that. I want my money now. If he's trying to win, I think a lot of people are looking at what the Chiefs are doing with Mahomes and how they moving and restructuring deals and stuff like that to keep a team together to win championships. I think some people are starting to say, like, maybe that's the way to go and do it. So I could see the franchise tag, but if not, I mean, you're looking at Purdy getting 60 million a year, bro. If go to another NFC championship, mess around, go to the Super Bowl. And they say they win it. He's writing his ticket, bro. That dude is writing his ticket. And somebody will pay it. Somebody would pay it. If they're talking about Dak would get paid, because that's another thing they were saying. What about if Dak doesn't even sign with them, with the Cowboys? Would the Giants give him guaranteed money like that?
I doubt it. The thing is with Dak, yeah, okay, he's proven. Like I'm not gonna sit here and say he's a scrub, but like if he didn't get it done with football team, the teams that Dallas has had the last couple of years, they've had good rosters, solid offensive lines. They got Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb. They got Diggs. Like, how does if he doesn't get it done and he's gonna go like to the Raiders or the Giants? Yeah, he's gonna get 60 million, but like, is he really gonna take them to where they want to go?
I don't.
Not 60 million worth. I don't think so.
No, I don't think he's 60 million worth either. So, for me, and this is, I've been pretty vocal on this, and I think June, anybody else can agree, is that I'm about where you take me out in the playoffs, bro. I'm not paying you 60 mil just to be a great regular season quarterback. If I'm giving you 60 mil, we better be talking about divisional rounds, conference championship rounds, and an occasional Super Bowl appearance. See, Purdy to me has proven that. But then again, is it the quarterback or the system? You know what I'm saying? Let's go back to San Francisco. Is it Purdy the quarterback that's doing this, or is it Purdy fits the system of Kyle Shanahan's offense with the weapons he got? You know?
Could be both.
I think it could be both. I think that when Brady started in New England, he was a system quarterback. I think he worked the system they had. And then as he got older and better, it changed to more what he had to do. I think some quarterbacks, that's okay with that. I think there's nothing wrong with that. That's like when people say game manager. Are you winning the games? You know what I'm saying? Are you winning the game?
Still got to play. Like, it's not like he's just calling hike and just throwing it up in the air and it's magically going to somebody's hands. Like, he's making plays.
I think, look, we've seen a lot of quarterbacks not be first round, or even second round picks. We're talking about third, fourth, fifth, sixth picks that actually become somebody. And we've seen a lot of first round pick quarterbacks that, guess what? They get in the league and it's bust. So I don't know. But we'll see. So 49ers next. So June, let me ask you this question because you said it before. Do you think that this is the last year for the 49ers to make a run to the Super Bowl?
I don't know. I think they've had opportunities years after years after years. So then it kind of becomes like a like okay, they got an all-star cast, but they haven't done anything with it in the last few years. What makes this year so significant? They're just gonna be another team with a Pro Bowl cast that just can't get over that hump. So I think the competition is real this year, and I think it's gonna be that much more difficult for them. Um, so I leave it up to the coaching this year. It's a 50-50. I can't say yes and I can't say no.
I mean, I think the coaching cost them a few games in the Super Bowl anyway, bro. I mean, think about it. You go in with double-digit leads in the half and you come out losing, you know?
Right.
We here we go. We got some games coming up. The first game is going to be the Ravens at Chiefs. Unveiling of the banner. I don't know if they're getting their rings or not, but they probably are going to have their rings on that day. I'm going to start with June. Who has more to gain in this game? The Ravens and Lamar Jackson or the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, and why?
I'm gonna go with the Ravens. I'll go with the Ravens. Just because the way that they exited the season last year, the way they exited the playoffs, the expectations that was there. Like this is the opportunity for them to bounce back and prove themselves. Last year you beat us with what you had, but this year you guys are healthy. There's no excuses. We're gonna beat you guys. They're playing at home in Baltimore.
No, they're
No.
playing in Kansas City.
Oh, even worse. Shoot, hell yeah, I'll go with the Ravens all day. Set the tone early at home and dominate. So I think the Ravens will gain a lot more depending on the way they execute the game.
Pedro?
Same. Yeah. The Chiefs are kicking back. They got back-to-back chips. They're the hunted, and they really don't have anything to prove anymore. I mean, I guess it's more like, yeah, let's see if we can do this now. You know what I mean? Because they got Mahomes has MVPs. He has, Super Bowl MVP, Super Bowl wins. What else is there to do other than shit that no one's ever done before? It's like in baseball, you got Otani trying to do 50-50. Nobody's ever done that before, but he's kind of done everything else. He's done, and he's got MVP already. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what else interesting can I do just to make shit interesting? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how I see the Chiefs. Agree with June 100% that this is the game for the Ravens to kind of like get their confidence back. Because let's say they lose this game, or let's say they just lose this game. Let's say it's a close game. They're gonna be like, see, we can't beat these guys. And what happens if they have to go back to KC in the playoffs?
See, and that's what I was gonna touch on. You beat me. This is why we make a great team here. Because I was gonna bring that up. I think psychologically they have to do it. I know it's regular season, there's 16 other games, but I just lost to you at home. And here we are, the first game of the season. We're in your house, and I lose to you again. I think psychologically that weighs on you. You know what I'm saying? I can't get over this hump. It starts playing your head. So if and when you see them again in the postseason, God forbid you got to go to Kansas City now and see him. How you gonna react? So I really do feel like the only quarterback in the AFC that doesn't have that stress on his back is Joe Burrow. Every other quarterback, that's the stress. I can't get past this guy. I got him beat, 2 touchdowns, and he comes back and beats me. You know what I'm saying? He comes back and destroys our defense. They take him out psychologically last year, and I've said this here, and I said on play call, I feel they took the Ravens out of their game. The coaching, whatever they did on the field and them players is they forced Lamar to start throwing the ball more than anything else. They wasn't running it like, I get it. Chris Jones was there 100%. I understand that. But you're the number 1 rushing team in the league. You were probably averaging like 100 and something yards per game rushing on any defense. And yet you get to the playoffs and the AFC Championship and you go away from this thing. So I think it's very important not only if so, even if they lose, have a strong showing. Don't be the reason you guys lose. Let your defense be that. But as far as offense goes, minimize the turnovers, capitalize on everything. And I think they can beat the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? I really do feel like they can beat the Chiefs. I just feel like you, as a player, you got to stay, in the words of my man Tom Brady, laser focused on what the goal is, and that's win. So what's some of the, I'm gonna start with you, Pete. What do you want to see the Ravens do then? If you're saying they're the pressure's on them, what do you want to see from the Ravens that day on offense and defense?
Well, they be who they are, which is a running team. They may have gotten, like you said, they may have gotten taken out of their game plan. And you know, if you're gonna let Kelsey, you know, get you out of your game by talking shit to you in Baltimore, it's good. It's a whole different story in Kansas City. They love that dude. So like that whole crowd is gonna have Kelsey's back, and that's the home field advantage. And as far as what they do on defense, I don't know, man. Good luck to them because they got Mahomes. He's got you know, receivers who can catch now. Kelsey's coming back. He wants a three-peat. He's got no more Kadarius Toney dropping passes that are turning into pick sixes. Got Rashee Rice. Hollywood Brown's not playing, but they also got Xavier Worthy, who that I guess, you know, everybody's looking at as the new Tyreek Hill there because fastest man in the draft this year. So I don't know what they should do. I mean, you know, obviously keep them out of the end zone, but I don't know if that's possible with this team. This team, you know, they're experienced. They've been there before. This is really nothing new to them. So Ravens gotta Ravens gotta play a perfect game, to be quite honest. To me, it seems like they have to play a perfect game if they're gonna come out with a win on Thursday.
June, I'm gonna give you the Chiefs and what your tailor tape for the Chiefs is gonna be. But before I go there, yeah, I think perfect or mistake free. And I think you gotta be able to bang point for point. You know what I'm saying? Like, and when I say that is capitalize on the small things. One thing I give Mahomes credit, when he lost Tyreek, he went to the short game. Oh, y'all gonna take the top off? Okay, cool. I'm gonna go intermediate short throws. So I think Lamar needs to stop forcing things and just take what's in front of him. If that's a 5-yard scramble for him and get it, the more time you spend on the field and capitalize, the less time he has to produce on the back end, coming back on the field. So that's what I would want to see. The defense took a hit. They lost Queen. I think it's really going to be a showcase of that run game and what they can do. So June, Chiefs, what do the Chiefs got to do?
I'll tell you what, the Chiefs got to utilize that motivation of that three-peat, of being the first team in NFL history to do it. Like Pete, they may not have much to prove, be the only thing, and they need to keep beefing it up. I mean, ESPN and every other network is beefing it up as three-peat, first NFL team to do it. So they got to utilize that and make a huge run. I mean, at this point, I think it's going to become like personal records and personal stats when it comes to certain players, like the Kelseys, like the Mahomes. You know what I mean? Because now they're going to compete with best tight end of all time, best quarterback of all time. Like those talks are going to be on the table, and not to mention, let's not sleep on Pacheco. I mean, he's the first running back I believe that gets drafted in his first 2 years, wins 2 Super Bowls.
For the first,
I mean that's so. I mean, I think all those little small statistics and pieces of history could be that motivating factor to get them where they were last year. And the thing is, I think they lose the home opener. I don't even think it's going to affect them mentally because the Detroit Lions beat them at their home opener last year.
and they didn't change nothing. They still won a Super Bowl. One thing I agree with Pete and what you're saying is, listen, they playing with house money. They playing with house money. They're playing. They know they're the team to beat in the NFL, not just the AFC, but in the NFL. They're the team to beat. So I would expect them to see. I honestly, don't be surprised you see a heavy run game. Because like Pete said, oh, you got Xavier Worthing. So now I got to worry about him taking the top off. They also brought Juju back. And Juju's a good number 2. He's not a good number 1, but he's a good number 2. He's a good number 2 or 3. He won a ring with them already. And then they got Rashid Rice, who was my fantasy league last year, and he was actually doing well towards the end of the season. The only thing that concerns me about him is he got those legal issues in the back. And I think it was Bree that said that they're already talking about suspensions. And I said they're not going to suspend him this season. If he gets suspended, it'll be next season. The NFL is not going to do anything to come between the Chiefs and three-peating. It's all about money. It's money, ratings, and they want people to see it. So I don't see him going anywhere, but you get him back. And I think that Pacheco and whoever else they got running the ball is going to be the sleeper for them going into this game. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to give you a dose of what you guys do to other people. We're going to do it to you and take it away. So that's what I see. Moving along to Friday, we're across. We're going to Brazil. Restrictions. AJ Brown said they were told not to walk around with their cell phones out in the street. June, I'm gonna go with you first. What do you feel about? So first off, I see what the NFL's doing. Expanding games overseas. Let's get a bigger market, kind of F1 formula type thing. Let's get it going. Soccer, all this other stuff. We want to branch out. But when you start branching out to some of these countries, unfortunately, poverty is everywhere. And some people don't play that. And when they see Americans coming, it's money. What's your take on some of those restrictions?
I was listening to a lot of the players, their take on it. They didn't say much, but they gave the almost like the common sense type of response. Like, hey, why would we go over there when we got all these restrictions? I get the NFL's trying to expand, but at what cost? Because God forbid something were to happen, right? And then we were thinking about, it was funny. I was talking to Brie on her podcast the other day, and we spoke about the same thing. So 43%, right? Do you think that 43% and 80, let's say, I think it's 83%, 43%, 83%. Do you think that that's a large margin when it comes to percentage and numbers?
Yeah, you're talking about 40% more, yeah.
Right. And now we're talking 43%, that's the crime rate in Philadelphia, and 83%, that's the crime rate in Brazil. So, when you start thinking numbers and things like that, I think those things really do come into play. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I hope that everything turns out well safety-wise. But, NFL and Roger Goodell, they're going to do whatever it takes to get that. I mean, they're already making billions. I don't know how much money they want to make. But, and I get the expanding thing, too. So, I don't know. It's cool for the NFL. But I think it's cool for the NFL at the right time.
That's fair. Pete?
Let's understand this. I think it's obvious. The owners in Goodell, they don't give a shit about the players. They don't. Those are their gladiators. They're gonna put them out there to fight. And it doesn't matter. I mean, they're concerned with concussions now, but they're concerned with concussions now because of that lawsuit that they got hit with a couple of years ago. So now you see the Guardian caps, but at the same time, they said, oh yeah, let's go from 16 games to 17 games. So you're adding an extra game, but you're worried about their safety. You're not really worried about their safety. Now you, like June just said, you send them to a place where the crime rate is insane. And I don't know if you guys heard the same thing. I heard that green is like a gang color out there.
Mm-hmm.
So you send the two teams that their primary color is green for a game in Brazil. That shit is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. So I know they don't give two shits about the players, but these are the money makers. But to send Green Bay and the Eagles out to Brazil, and that's where predominantly gang colors are, green is just dumb to me. And that's just they don't care. But it's like you said, Frank, it's expanding the market. But the way I look at that is that they continuously tell the players, we don't care about you. And this is just another example of that.
So I'm gonna play devil's advocate on that, right? Because I didn't want to say that. I wanted to get your takes, and I agree. I agree. Why are we putting our people in harm's way? I think June and I can relate to this because when we go to certain countries, they don't pull us in to a country that's detrimental to us. If they do, we can't leave a certain area, and then we're given restrictions. Don't go here, don't go there, stay away from this, don't fall for that. There's a whole brief on it, right? We try to warn our sailors as best as possible to not do the dumb things. But what happens is they're sailors, they're human, right? These athletes are human. And they pull into a country or they go to a country. And even though I understand what AJ Brown said, it's a business trip, it's not a pleasure trip. So I'm only going there to play football. I'm not trying to be on the streets. I'm there to play, do my job, and come back home. So if everybody had that mentality, though, then we wouldn't be worried about it. But we're not like that. And some of these players are very entitled. They think because I'm a millionaire, I'm a player that wait in these countries where they don't care. That doesn't matter to them. They'll cut you up in a heartbeat in the street and leave you there. So maybe, the way Goodell's looking at it is like, well, this is a business trip. There's probably curfews in place. There's probably certain things in place. They're probably not staying there long. They play the game. They might fly out that night or be in the hotel by a certain time and fly out the next day. So I agree 100% with that. The only reason I said I'll just throw that out there as what if they just look at it as a work trip and not go nowhere and just hotel, practice, field, play, come back.
It is, yeah. I don't think we shouldn't look at it as anything else other than a business trip, because that's what it is. They're going out there, like AJ Brown said, to play football. But that's not going to change the mentality of the people over there in Brazil who are going to see this as, oh, yo, there's a bus full of millionaires right there.
Yeah.
You ever seen the movie SWAT when the dude said, yo, you break me out of jail, I'll give you $100 million.
Yeah.
That's what they're looking at. They could look at that bus full of players as, yo, that's our meal ticket right there. So I understand. Goodell, whoever, could say, yeah, this is a business trip, but that doesn't change what these people over there are going to think.
Yeah. No, I agree. And you know what? In America, they take chances for less. You know what I'm saying? And they have more benefits out here to help people that don't have it. So we'll see. Well, I'll pray. We pray for those guys, get out there and be safe. Obviously, they have enough to deal with on the field between injuries and stuff like that. And now you got to take this in. Their hotels, I hope everything's very well protected and guarded because, they're going out there to pretty much spread the word of the shield of the NFL and hopefully create more of a fan base. So I'm going to go with June 1st, Pete, on this one. I'm going to go with his Eagles. June, tail of the tape. What do you want to see from your Eagles? Before I go there, before I go to that, who has more to gain out of this game? Eagles or Packers?
I think Eagles hands down. With their cast and their coaching, 100%. They go in there, they dominate, and they handle business. And I'm not talking about handle business like, hey, let's go up 2 scores and let's let the Packers come back and we win by 3. Because I still think that defeats the cause. They go in there, they handle business. Hey, the Eagles got all these things, and this is what. And they won by 20, or they won by 14. Let's say 14. Hey, they won by 14. That's what we expect. So 100%, I think the Eagles. I don't think the Packers have anything to lose. They got a lot to gain. Don't get me wrong.
Well, yeah, and Pete, I saw you shaking your head, so I see you agree with him. What's your take on it?
Yeah, it's this. Eagles are one of the favorites this year. Like when you speak about like Super Bowl contenders, like legitimate Super Bowl contenders, the Eagles are up there with the 49ers, with the Chiefs. The Eagles are there. Like they're probably top 3 team in the league roster wise. So yeah, the Eagles have a lot to gain and a lot to lose because if let's say like June says they don't. Let's say it's not an impressive win. Let's just say they win and it's not impressive. Everybody's expecting the Eagles to win because they're the favorites, like I just said. So if they win, it's not really a surprise. If it's an ugly win, I think it puts some heat on the coaching staff. If they lose, that seat's gonna get hot for this dude. because I think it's already hot. So 100% agree with June. It's the Eagles who have the most to gain out of this. I mean, this would definitely, if Eagles went in there and won it, I mean, Packers went in there and win it, they gain a lot. But I think the question was who has the most to gain, and it's the Eagles. For me.
I agree. Eagles, hands down. There's been a lot of rumors, a lot of stir up between the head coach last year losing some of the players because of his play calling, his lack of managing the games, him and Jalen not being on the same page, Jalen not learning the playbook or having problems with the playbook, having all these weapons. Howie doing the best job to keep a team together, which is hard to do. And he's finding a way to keep your team together. I would have liked to see Swift stay. That's just me. But they let him go, and guess what? They went and got Barkley, and it's like, what more can you do? I think you lose. It's just a carryover from last year. They're gonna start talking. You don't want that. And then if you lose, if you don't win convincingly, it's gonna still stir up the talk, you know? Where if you go in there and dominate and have a good win, then it's like, oh, they're getting back on track. Because remember, the Packers were in the playoffs last year. You know, they beat the Cowboys. So you're not beating a scrub team. You're actually being a team that went to the playoffs, was in the divisional rounds. So I think it's on them. So now let's go to a June. Taylor the tape. Your Eagles in Brazil. What do you want to see from them? What do you think they're gonna need to do to win the game?
Execution, 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 and immediate play from the defense as much as the offense, because it's expected. But I think we could both agree that our secondary and their defense was one of our Achilles heels. So I think immediate execution again from the defense aspect of things. Show me you improve. Show me you're gonna shut Jordan Love down and his supporting cast. And who's the Packers running back?
Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs.
Yeah. Hey, shut down Josh Jacobs so Aaron Jones got something to talk about. And just from the offense standpoint, utilize those weapons, utilize those millionaires, utilize those millionaires in Brazil, because all eyes are on you, my guys. So I think a lot of the expectations are going to be on Barkley as well, because obviously the newest acquisition, the biggest name, well, one of the biggest names there. They're all kind of big, but shoot, man, that's going to be execution is going to be the word I'm going to use. There's no time for mistakes. That shit was 2023, 2024.
So I agree. I think execution is going to really be the biggest thing with you guys. You know what I mean? I think your offense is your best weapon. Is your defense. I think if you guys get going and rolling, it's going to be hard for a team to keep up and stop you guys if you get consistently going, you know? So, Pete, what's your take, man? Packers, they there. You know, youngest team in NFL last year, surprised everybody beating the Cowboys. Jordan Love got this money off 7 games that he really played well in. In your opinion, what do they have to do to stop the Eagles and win the game?
You know, build off that playoff win in Dallas, like you just said. And, you know, they were hanging with the 49ers for a minute. You know what I mean? I believe they missed a field goal. But they had a young kicker. Just, you know, they got the right. They don't seem intimidated by going on the road first in Dallas, and, you know, they whooped Dallas. And they were hanging, like I said, they were going toe-to-toe with the 49ers. Could have pulled that game off. It easily could have went their way. As far as, you know, like game plan, make Jalen Hurts throw. Don't let him run too much. You know, I think that's what opens everything up when he's able to run. Just make him more of a passer than a runner. That's what I would say. But like I said, just attitude-wise, have that same mentality that you had in the playoffs, and Jordan Love as well. We'll see if he, is really that guy. By the way, he comes out in this game. He got his money. Like everybody says, a small sample size. You just said it was over 7 games. So let's see what happens now when you're the guy. You're really the guy now. You got
Yeah.
the money.
No, I
Everybody's
agree. I agree.
He's like dark horse candidate for some people for MVP. So
That's
let's
crazy.
see it now. Let's see it.
What's crazy is I'm not sold. I'm not 100% sold on him. I know Green Bay does a good job of finding quarterbacks. They didn't draft Brett Favre. They traded for him, but they did get Aaron Rodgers. Let him sit behind Favre. He took over. They went and got Love. Let him sit behind Aaron, and look, now he's where he's at. I just don't know, man. I think when you said that the Ravens have to play a perfect game to beat the Chiefs, I think the Packers will have to play a damn near perfect game to beat the Eagles. Even Eagles on their worst day can still pull out a win. You know what I'm saying? Like they can still do it because of the weapons. I mean, any defense you got to account for Devontae Smith, AJ Brown, Barkley, Goddard, Hurts. It's just too much for a defense to have to cover down on. And we need. I know you're not high on Dotson. He's only a 500 your average receiver a year in yardage, but even if he gets you a first down or 2 downs here, because I'm too worried about AJ Green and AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. That leaves him open because you still got to protect Goddard. You still got to cover down. You can't empty out the box completely because then Saquon's going to eat you up or Hurt's going to eat you up. So, I'm interested to see what that looks like. So moving along to Sunday's game, we have the Browns. We have the Cowboys at Browns. Pedro, who you think got to win that one?
Well, it depends. It's not. I don't think it's as cut as dry as the other two. Dallas, being that Dax is looking to reset the quarterback market, and he needs to play well, and of course, he's gonna have to keep up with Philly. Philly has a strong roster. Dallas, they didn't do much this offseason, if anything. Like, just look at the difference between what the off seasons. It's big. It's massive actually, and they need to get wins when they can, especially a quality team like Cleveland on the road. I think that does a lot for them. But Cleveland as well, they're in the same position. They're in a tougher division. Deshaun Watson in 2 years has played 12 games, Like I think it's kind of 50-50 for either one of these teams.
June?
I don't know. I think that I mean, because he didn't play the end of the last season last year, so I think Watson, she's gonna be healthy. I'm a Amari Cooper fan. I think he's a hell of a receiver. Damn, who they pick up on the right side on the number 2?
Jerry Jeudy.
Jerry Jeudy.
They got Judy, right? So Judy's playing like he has to have something to prove. To shut down golly, man, I forgot the receiver from the Ravens that's now an analyst.
Steve Smith,
right? Right. So Steve Smith, he's not a big fan of Judy, but I mean, go out there. The Browns, they got Hunt, right? And then there's no timetable on Chubb, which I hope that he makes a good recovery. I really do. But could you just imagine if that team makes a small run and then Chubb just comes in mid to late season? I mean, that's scary. So I have the Browns beating the Cowboys. The Cowboys I hate them. I really do. But I'm gonna take that off the table. I really do. But I just don't think they made enough noise in the offseason at all. The biggest noise came when CeeDee Lamb did not want when he sat out. In my opinion, that was the biggest noise the Cowboys made.
But they didn't have to really. They had 9 all pros or 9 Pro Bowlers on that team. I get the two confused, but I know one is harder to do than the other, and that's all pro. So if they had 9 all pros on a team, what more you have to do?
I mean, let's just start with running backs really fast. Like, do you really put your money in a pot and say, hey, the running backs are great?
So that I blame. So I blame that on the head coach and the general manager, and I'm gonna tell you why. You should have been smarter. You had Derrick Henry, who lives in Texas, lives in Dallas. I want to say, wanted to play for your team, was waiting for you to call him, and you didn't call him. That would have
And then
showed up. Yeah,
Gilmore left.
yeah, because they didn't re-sign him. So, did they do anything? So, to answer the question, they didn't do anything to improve the team, but they also didn't do nothing else to hurt the team at the same time because they didn't go out and get nobody.
Bland, yeah.
You know, Bland
So
is
you
hurt.
lost Gilmore.
You lost
Bland's
Gilmore,
hurt.
yeah, but you get Trayvon Diggs back. So it's like, okay, and that's the reason they went and got Gilmore is to get Diggs, to cover for Diggs while he was injured. So, I think I think the Browns have to win this game at home. I think Deshaun Watson, it's more on the Deshaun Watson side of the ball. He needs to play right. He needs to go out there and show that these $230 million guaranteed, I got fully guaranteed, is for something, you know, and beat the Cowboys. It doesn't really matter. It's not a conference game, and you know what? The Cowboys lose, they still can go out and win the division or even be a number one seed. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's more on the Browns proving that the Deshaun Watson proving that. Um, Going on to Sunday night's game, we got Rams at Lions. Pete, your opinion? Who got to win that game?
Lions,
Okay.
Packers, possibly the Bears. It's not. This is another division that's not easy. They got some pretty solid teams in that division. So you gotta. It's not a long season either. You gotta grab those wins, especially at home. And not that the Rams are a pushover, but Sunday night football opening night. I think the Lions need to take this one.
June?
I agree. I think the Lions will take it. I believe that Matt Stafford was hurt in the preseason. He's coming off an injury. I just don't think that the Rams are the Rams. You know, I mean, they got Nakua. They go pick up his brother, and
Yeah, he's
let
actually
that be the stud. Yeah, but no, I think the Lions take it, and but I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams make it again because they always tend to do that.
well, some people got the Rams as a sleeper. Defensively, people
Mm.
think that because they lost Donald, they're not going to do nothing, but they look like they're pretty solid on offense. Even if you got Stafford making the right plays, right throws, you got Cooper Kupp, Nakua. They got the running backs. They still got their tight ends. It's something that they can make noise. They can steal a game or two. I think is the Lions need to win this though, for real, just because of last year. You know, the coaching failed them in that NFC
Mm.
championship game. And if it wasn't for not taking the field goals and making bad decisions as a coach, you could have been the Super Bowl. It could have been a very different game because the matchups are very different at that point. You know, and but you know, it is what it is. So I think the Lions at home need to show that, hey, we're here to play. There's nothing falling off. We're gonna compete again this year. We're not the same old Lions from a few years ago. It's gonna be it. So I kind of agree there too. And the last game is Monday Night Football. Aaron Rodgers. It, it is back. He's back. The Jets are gonna be playing the 49ers in San Francisco. 49ers are favored 4.5 points. I don't even think I need to answer this question to be asked this question to be honest. Cause I feel like the answer is gonna be the same across the board. But for the sake of our listeners and content, June, who you think needs to win this game?
I mean, they're playing the Niners, dude. We just talked about this, but it'll be very interesting if these damn Jets win this game. So the Jets gotta win this game. They got all these things out there. You know what? I'm gonna say that the 49ers need to win because they're just, to me, they have this great Pro Bowl cast over there. But the Jets go out there and win. Go let them know that Aaron is not 21 seasons in the game. You guys got Wilson over there is gonna break records. Damn, I don't even know the running. Oh, who's the running back?
Brees Hall.
Brees Hall.
Reese Hall's a beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? It's more and more that I think about it. If the Niners gave up games last year too at the end of the year, even with that cast. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets go out there and make a statement. I think it'll be interesting as hell. So to answer your question, I think I'm gonna go with the Jets.
Okay, Jets, Pete.
Well, who needs it more?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one to me is like the Browns Cowboys game. I think they both equally need this game because I don't know if you guys heard Aaron Rodgers said, yeah, we kind of owe the league one because they put him on prime time a lot last year, and of course this guy got hurt, and they didn't. You got Zach Wilson quarterbacking in prime time against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I think it was Monday night. So I know the Jets really want this game to kind of they want to prove everybody who's picking them as favorites right. Like I said, I'm tired of hearing this shit on every freaking show. The Jets this, the Jets that. I just want to see it already. This guy from ESPN said the same thing. Like when he said it, I was just like, this dude is preaching right now, bro. Like I just want to see it already. And the people who are doubting them, they're saying the same thing. Look, Aaron Rodgers hasn't played in like 2 years. He's coming off a major injury. His last year, he wasn't great. So the Jets need this, I think, more than the Niners. The Niners had a lot of shit going on because they wanted to sign Trent Williams and Ayuk and this guy getting shot. But the Jets, I think they need this more because there's been so much talk about them being serious contenders. Then this is it. You're on the road against the Super Bowl, the runner-up last year. Let's see if you got it in you to go on the road Monday Night Football and beat this quality team, because that's all you guys been talking about all summer.
So I think it's the Jets hands down, man. Listen, if the 49ers go out there and mollywop these dudes, it's no surprise. But if they go out there and lose to them, it's like, bro, you're giving life to the story, man. So, Pete, I'm watching Get Up this morning. Greeny's on there. He's like,
worst.
So you sign Ayuk. Everybody was hoping that these pieces of players on the chessboard wouldn't come back because then it makes them a little weaker, right? If I can't protect Brock, then he can't get the ball out, and there's one less receiver out there. But then you get Ayuk, and then this morning it was very early when they said that Williams was reporting they worked the deal out. The details of the deal came out later, but I think it's more on the Jets, man. Aaron Rodgers, look, 4 NFL MVPs, 1 Super Bowl. I want to say he's at 12-11 in the postseason. Some people consider him the greatest thrower of the football, and there's so much riding on this. The hype has been, he's going to bring another trophy back to the Jets, that one is lonely. The whole saga in the offseason, well, the coach don't want me to play. When he's able to play, he doesn't want to play because he doesn't want to risk injury, like the coach don't want him to get hurt. The inexcused absence to Egypt, everything that comes with this guy, bro. It's a skeptical, it's spectacle, I should say, spectacle of the game, and it's all to keep it relevant. So I think the Jets need to go out there and win, and not only win convincingly, bro. Like it can't be a miracle field goal, Greg Zuerlein coming in for the 50-yarder. I think they need to manhandle the 49ers defensively because they do have a good defense. And offensively, they don't have many weapons. I don't think they do. It's Wilson and Brees Hall. But when you got to load the box up, it leaves open maybe one-on-one on the outside or, man coverage in the back end. And if Aaron Rodgers could be 60% of what he used to be, it could be an interesting game. And you got to think, Rodgers knows the 49ers. He played for them. He played against them a lot when he was in Green Bay. So we'll see, man. But I agree. I think it's the Jets, man. I think the Jets got to win. 49ers don't win this. The excuse is gonna be Ayuk wasn't there for training camp. Neither was Trent Williams. And it's just one game. They got to get their stuff together. They'll be back next week. The Jets don't win. It's gonna be like, oh, all this shit you talked, and you can't even win the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all suck. Sit down, Rodgers. So before we close it out, man, because I don't have anything else, I saw on here the details of the trades offers that each team made the 49ers for Ayuk. And let's start with the Browns. Browns were offering a second and third pick and Amari Cooper. The Steelers offered a second and third round pick and were unwilling to pay Ayuk more than TJ Watt, which is $28 million a year. The Patriots offered a 2025 second round pick, a 2026 third round pick, pay him $32 million a year, and a player 49ers wanted Kendrick Bourne back. And he didn't take none of those. We're back to 49ers.
Good Lord, man. I think he had too much to say. And he had his hands too much in the decision making. I don't know. Maybe they need to take that little bit away from the contracts, where let the teams on the business aspect deal with the players, and the player, you just do your job. Now I get the no trade clause thing. That's cool. That's one thing, but having a say in where you go, I don't know. I wish that when I was in the Navy, I'm going there or not. Just kiss my contract goodbye. I'm not coming back to work. I'm not gonna do this. Just imagine. So I don't know, man. It's an interesting situation.
Pete.
Well, he had some say because, they can trade him. They could complete the trade, but that doesn't mean he's going to sign a contract. And then that would have, like the Jets and Hassan Reddick, they would have had that same type of issue. They would have been trading for, oh, this dude's holding out with San Francisco, but let's say the Browns traded for him and he didn't want to go there. Then, oh shit, he's holding out with the Browns now. So he did have some say, and that's why the deal from the Browns sounded legit. But if they can't get a contract signed with this dude, with Ayuk, they're just giving away picks and they're taking on their headaches. So good for him, man. Because if he shit the bed in these last couple of years, I don't know if you remember, after he was drafted, he was getting benched. Mm-hmm. He wasn't active because he wasn't. I don't know if he didn't know the playbook or whatever. So he had, he has a lot of shit going on with the 49ers. So him being able to get to this point where he get his money, good for him, man. I'm an Ayuk fan. I'm glad he got what he wanted.
Yeah, I don't think I would have given Amari Cooper up though. That dude's
that's crazy.
Every place he goes, bro. Solid every place he goes with different quarterbacks. So looking at Ayuk, man, his first year, 748 yards. Second year, 826 yards. Third year, 1,015. And then 2023, he had a good year, 1,342 yards. His targets went up. His receptions went up. Actually, the only year his receptions were low was 2021, where he had 56 receptions, but he only had 84 targets. But everybody at 96 to 60, 114 to 78, 105 to 75. This dude was averaging 12, 14, 13, 17 yards per reception and touchdowns. I mean, he's pretty 5'5", 8'7". So to me, it's like, the guy, he's a solid player, especially in the system when he's not the number one. To get 1,300 yards in the first in 16 games started and played in 2023 You know, that says, I mean, 1,300, and remember, he's not the number one weapon. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it's a lot. I think some teams were willing to. I would have not went to the Steelers just off the strength that you don't know what your quarterback is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I would have loved to see him and Amari Cooper together, but not one or the other. I'd rather stay with Amari Cooper if I'm the Browns. He's shown that he's reliable. Let's see his yardage. Let's see. Last year, so in Cleveland, he's in the 2 years he's been in Cleveland, he has 2,410 yards. And when he was with Oakland, like the dude's been successful pretty much everywhere he goes, man. I mean, it's crazy, but I wouldn't get rid of him. I would have kept him.
Let's not forget Dallas traded him for a 5th-round pick.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Piss poor management, bro. Piss poor management. I think they should have kept him. But
Absolutely.
they thought they had Gallup and it was going to be okay, and it didn't turn out to be okay. So,
Gallup's retired now.
yep. And Amari Cooper still passes. And you got to think that 1,250 yards was in 15 games started and played last year with 4 different quarterbacks throwing him the ball.
That's
crazy.
insane, man.
Crazy. He had 5 touchdowns. I think 50 first downs last year. His success was 53% success. His longest was 75 yards. He averaged 83 yards per game. That's crazy. So, yeah, man, but that's it. So, look, we're 2 days away. Ravens at Chiefs opens up Thursday for us. Friday, we have Packers and Eagles in Brazil. Sunday, a bunch of games. And then Monday, Jets at 49ers. I'm going to just go ahead and say, look, I appreciate this. We flexed this week because I'll be in DR tomorrow until Sunday. And I appreciate you guys making time to get on. Again, let us know we could do better. Leave comments. Tell us what we could improve, what you guys want to hear more of. And yeah, this Offsides. Pete, anything you want to say?
Enjoy the games. Safe trip, bro.
Thanks. June?
Hey, we waited forever for week 1 and it's here. So let's all root for the Eagles, man.
What?
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know about
Dang,
that.
all right then. Yeah, I'll try to sneak that in there. It didn't work.
You could say that when you can hit the stop button of recording and it'll be okay. But you don't.
If they lose, my camera is gonna be off next week.
I doubt that, but okay. Anyway, man, share, like, subscribe, turn your notifications on, leave us a comment. Offsides. Until next week, peace.